Here again. I saw this advert on the telly and I thought that would make a really great little diorama, and it's of an AA van recovering Starbug from Red Dwarf. Crichton's obviously pressed the wrong button, he's landed down on the planet and they've had to send for the AA. Now AA isn't, as you might think, Alcoholics Anonymous, but it is in fact the Automobile Association. So what did I get? I got some parts from Thingiverse for the Ford Transit, and I also got some parts from Thingiverse as well for Starbug. But to print Starbug, I decided to print it on the horizontal like this, and so I took the legs off and printed those separately and printed this section at the back separately as well. If I had printed it all together, I could have printed it like this off the print bed, but because of its height it would have taken a very long time, so that's why I decided to opt to do it that way. Once it was printed, I could then decide on the printing of the Ford Transit to make sure it was in the right scale with the Starbug, and that ended up being 1/250th. Having done that, I could drill the headlights out and drill through the top of the van for the rotating amber beacons, and I inserted these nano LEDs. The base, this top bit of the base was given to me by, I believe, Grant Matthews. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. But anyway, it didn't fit quite well enough onto the Ferrero Rocher base that you can see here below. So I used some filler, and while I was waiting for that to dry, I placed the models on top of the surface of the planet so I could see where they fitted best. And that was then going to allow me to bring the wires and the fibre optics through from the van down to the electronics. Now the fibre optics, you'll see a bit later on how they're going to work. So here's the electronics underneath. It's an 18650 battery, rechargeable battery, and this is the recharging PCB up here. So in through this socket it comes a voltage, 5 volts, and that is then goes through the charge controller, and there's an LED that lights up here to show the state of charge. So if there's nothing plugged in, there's no LED. If there's something plugged in and it's charging, it'll be red. If it's fully charged, it'll be blue. So you can see here's the red LED, and that shines along this piece of 2mm fibre optic and then shows out through the edge of the switch by the charging socket. Now this is a tip I picked up from the Chief Boffin, so thank you Chief Boffin, much appreciated. And so here this PCB here carries the Pickaxe 14M2 microprocessor. One of the outputs is coming out here through a 330 ohm resistor, and that lights this LED and carries that light along the fibre optics up to the wheels of the Ford Transit to make it look like it's hovering. The other LEDs on the van are all powered from these outputs because they've got a flicker. So here's another picture of the charging circuit. This time the lights turn blue because it's now fully charged. So in the final layout of Starbug and the Ford Transit, you can now see the fibre optics come up through, and they actually support the van, There is a piece of black tubing underneath here which hides the other wires that come up into the van from being seen. The model's then obviously stuck down with CA. It's been painted up with various layers of grey, various shades, should I say, of grey paint. And so this is the actual model on the go. So you can see the rotating beacons on the top flashing away like mad. And yeah, I think it's really nice. It's the type of model that on display on an exhibition display stand would generate a lot of interest. So there we are. Thanks very much indeed for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.